Well, here's what a lot of people want to see, right? Potentially a four-timer going for his third title this year, ranked #1. One of the best pound-for-pound wrestlers in college.
Very quick
opening takedown in 4 seconds.
Yep. Storm, a junior from Stroudsburg, Pocono Mountain East, sophomore, I should say. 134 and 22 in his high school career. Diakomihalis 9-0 this season, 75-1 for his career. His only collegiate loss was to Jaden Ironman back in 2018. He avenged that loss in the NCAA tournament en route to his title as a freshman. Gives the escape there. Two-time cadet world champion, U.S. World Team Trials champion, and 4th at the Olympic trials this past year. Another takedown makes it 4-1.
Nice. It was nice to sit back and just let the fans enjoy the snake, you know, just the snake pit here. The whole arena erupted, and now you could sit back and just watch one of the all-time greats.
Yeah, nobody's going to beat him this year. I mean, I have a hard time seeing anybody at 149 even approaching.
Well, he's deservedly ranked #2 pound for pound by FloWrestling as the #2 best guy overall, and you certainly agree with that. I would too.
Yeah. I mean, look at the hustle there, the double leg takedown, his third already, less than 90 seconds into this period. But yeah, you go back to the end of the 141-pound bout. You and I could have said something, nobody would have heard it anyway, because this place was so loud, knowing the significance of that ride out from McGonigal that entire third period.
Well, I guess in some extent it's a badge of honor, I guess, in your career if you lose to a 4-time NCAA champion. I don't want to anoint him yet, but he's certainly in position and has the ability to do that. There's a lot of other factors, though, right? Staying healthy.
Yeah, and just like his 125-pound teammate, Vito Arujau, really this season, the first time he's wrestled in a Cornell singlet in over 900 days because of an Olympic redshirt year, no wrestling for Cornell because of COVID last season, and it's been 2 full years off for Yianni Diakomihalis as far as wrestling in Ithaca for Cornell University.
Yeah, and they had some serious COVID cases going right into the holiday break, but they've been able to wrestle, thank God. I think the Cornell wrestling fans would go crazy if they had canceled, you know, matches here this season.
So Cornell heads back up to Ithaca next weekend. They will host Army. That one on Sunday. Try to right the ship.
We're out of bounds. We have action. We're going out.
So I guess, Scott, today's duel is a good example of why you sometimes see separate national rankings for duel versus tournament. I don't think anybody would argue that if you had to say today, at the end of the NCAA tournament in March, would Cornell be higher than Lehigh in the team standings? I don't think anybody would say, no, you're wrong. But in a dual meet, the Mountain Hawks are a pretty tough team.
They got great balance, and you're right, there is a big difference. And you look at, you know, if you get a national champion that can score a lot of points, but he's your only good guy on the team, like take Binghamton, for instance, Dupree, 2-time All-American, right? If he places top 3, that's good enough to put them into the top 20, maybe 15, 16.
Sure.
If he scores enough points and you get a couple other guys in there that can contribute. So yeah, one great guy on your team or two pretty good guys can sometimes even get you in the top 10.
Green takes bottom.
So 5 takedowns for Yianni Diakomihalis in the first period against Stephen Storm. He'll go optional start here with Storm choosing bottom, and Yianni cuts him loose.
But by the same token, you get 3 guys that place 8th. You got 3 All-Americans. and those are your only points, you may not even be a top 20 program.
Right.
Or at the NCAA tournament. Yianni, unbelievable. He knows exactly where you're going and where he's going before you ever figure it out.
No hold.
I think they wiped off that takedown.
To me, that's a sign of a great wrestler. When and you know, it's not a high caliber opponent here for Yianni. He's, you know, filling in here, doing a great job.
That's a good job there, by the way, as you see Diakomihalis talking things over with Kellen Russell there. The officials are just going to go back and check here because they're going to wave off the takedown. They talked to each other and said, now there wasn't control there. They just have to take off some riding time. So they're going to look at the clock in the background there. So here's the scramble by Diakomihalis, and as he goes to the mat, you know, that whizzer was in, and then there's really no control there, right? He's only around one leg by the time that whizzer comes out. And you can see John Nath immediately kind of waved it off and confirmed with his assistant.
You know, I'll give him credit, right? It's irrelevant, this whole thing, whether he gets one or not. But they're treating every match, no matter who it is or who's out there, the same.
Right.
And they're taking the time. But, you know, when you see an exceptional wrestler, they make it look effortless. Cale Sanderson, you know, Troy Letters during his day. You know, Yianni, unbelievable.
And they just don't look tired ever, right? I mean, Diakomihalis could go wrestle for a half an hour, and it would be just the same.
Well, you know, I imagine Iowa's training much harder physically than a lot of programs, but they don't outcondition Penn State. They don't outcondition Cornell, you know, and the abuse you take on your body for training like that, is it worth it?
Right. Didn't Iowa just have somebody had to, can't think of it, somebody had to, like, quote, retire from wrestling because of injuries?
Well, it's not just, you know, and here's the thing. I totally respect Iowa and their program. I love how hard that they train. That's good old-fashioned, hard-working American work ethic. They implement better in their program than anybody.
Another takedown. This one counts for Diakomihalis. Makes it a 12-5 score. And, you know, I think, Scott, going back to, you said last night, the Iowa-Minnesota duel, at the end of the match, the Iowa fans kind of gave a standing ovation to Gable Steveson for his effort and how good he is as a wrestler. I think you're going to see the same from the Lehigh fans here for Yianni Diakomihalis. I'd be surprised if you didn't.
And I also think it's going to be two, right? It's going to be for him, and it's also going to be for the coaching staff and the team in the performance that they put on today. Unbelievable.
4-point near fall awarded to Diakomihalis.
Now, Flo has the tournament rankings.
Yep.
They don't have a dual meet ranking. I'd like to see them put one on there. And you're right, Lehigh is going to be, their tournament ranking is not going to be as high as their dual. So they have them at 24, which isn't out of the question. And Cornell is ranked tied for 6th with Ohio State in the tournament rankings. 24 just knocked off number 6 today.
Yep.
Now, if you go with the dual rankings, go ahead. What do you got there, Kyle?
The NWCA dual meet rankings, Lehigh is 17th, so 7 spots higher versus the tournament rankings, and Cornell is 2 spots lower at number 8. So that kind of makes sense.
It does, and when you look at some of these rankings that have both, like Intermat has them, they do have Lehigh farther back in the tournament rankings.
Yep, and now those rankings were from this Monday, January 4th. Or the Tuesday, I
Yes.
guess.
Yeah.
And it was right around Tuesday when Spencer Lee said, I'm out this year. Iowa's number 1 in the duel, Penn State number 2. I got to imagine those two flip-flop with that news this week. And as you mentioned last night, Brady Burge coming back at 157 for Penn State. They're going to be a tough out as a dual meet team.
I see Iowa potentially getting All-American points at nationals from their 25-pounder.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. I wouldn't doubt that. But Penn State also just filled in a nice 125-pounder with the semester change as well.
Exactly, but I mean, when you lose Spencer Lee, you're thinking, okay, we're kind of in trouble. But you know what? This redshirt freshman that they have there, he might be a true freshman. He's lost to the Minnesota guy 3 times, gave him a heck of a match last night. Could have easily won that bout.
Final 5 seconds rolling off the second period here. Yianni Diakomihalis comfortably ahead, 16-5, with 2 minutes and 49 seconds of advantage time over Lehigh's Stephen Storm. The dual meet no longer in question, as the Mountain Hawks have won 6 of the 9 bouts so far. And looking back over the dual meet, big wins at 174 and 184 from Lehigh's Jake Logan and AJ Burkhart over nationally ranked opponents in Chris Folka and Jonathan Lowe, respectively. Another takedown for Diakomihalis. It's 19-5. He will look to cut Storm. One more takedown will end this bout, end the duel. Trying to cover that far ankle is Diakomihalis. And there it is. That is a technical fall for Diakomihalis. Crowd applauding the excellence shown by the Cornell 149 pound